Hi, everybody. I'm Suzanne Shirley, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and I want you guys to all know something a little bit about me. I became an Emerald on May 26th, 2017, and it was absolutely an incredible experience. The most incredible thing that's ever happened. It took me 2.5 years to do it. I am not done one bit. I'm working hard on that next rank, and I'm working hard on helping everybody on my team to do the same thing. I have my leaders on this team, and many of them are on the call right now. I want you guys to know that I believe in every single one of you who has committed. If you've showed up to this call, you've taken time away from your kids, you've taken time away from your family to show up to a training call, and you are going to read Shad Helmstetter's What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. What you're doing is you're adding incredible value to yourself. And it's a John Maxwell principle that when you add value to yourself, you will actually be able to add value to others. Until you have your cup full, you will not be able to pour into other people. And I want you to know that this book right here is not a touchy-feely book. You're not going to come away from reading it saying, oh, this is so amazing. I feel amazing after reading it. It's not. It's like a textbook. And I want you to also understand he spends about the first 8 chapters letting you know the premise or the thesis behind why we need to use self-talk as a reprogramming device of the brain. So he's going to give you the why behind self-talk in chapters 1 through 8. Next week, we're going to just discuss chapters 6, 7, and 8. I have actually already pre-recorded that call. And that call will appear on the page along with next week's assignment as well. I will be in the air flying to Leaders Retreat, and I cannot go live next week. So you will have a recorded call that's just as powerful as this one. Trust me, I'm going to pour my life into you guys, and it'll be there for you. What I want to let you know is that Rhonda and I, we have committed. We have committed 110% of ourselves. We have said that this is a 10-month group, and we are committed to teaching and training and pouring our hearts into you for the entire 10 months, once a week. More about that later, but I want you to understand we are committed. If we are committed to show up, I'm going to ask you to be committed to show up. If you commit to show up every single week and add value to yourself, read these chapters, pour into yourself, then you will be able to pour into everyone on your team and everyone that you come in contact with about Plexus. This is about becoming the best version of you. And if you are committed to doing that, then that equals movement in your business and in your paycheck. I'm here to tell you that 100%. Personal growth is equivalent to your paycheck. How effective you are as a leader and your skill set and your influence and your personal growth level is how well you will be paid. So we're going to begin with what to say when you talk to yourself, chapters 1 to 5. I'm going to skim over some things, tell you some of the greatest points that I have to say here, and then we're going to have some things I come from my heart I'm going to tell you, and then we'll have a Q&A if anybody wants to go there, okay? So Shad Helmstetter talks about how everybody's always looking for a way to be successful. And if you're looking for a better way, you've just found it. This is really it. I was talking to a friend of mine last night. She's not on my team, but she is a really close friend of mine in Plexus. And, you know, we've had these conversations, she and I, and she's live on the call tonight. I'm not going to say names, but, you know, she was saying to me, you know, Suzanne, my dad always told me XYZ. And my dad would say this, and my mom would say that. It's like she was having an epiphany. And I said, and have you written those things down? Have you written those things down? Well, why would I need to? I'm like, okay, you need to write those things down, and they need to be someplace that you can have in a list so that you can create affirmations that counteract those and will recreate programming in your brain. Well, I didn't realize I need to be doing this. And this is a person I know very well who goes to every conference, reads every book, joins my team calls, does all those things, but is not moving forward in her business. She feels stuck. Is that you? Do you feel stuck? Are you, maybe you're not. Maybe you're not stuck. Maybe you're like, freaking, I'm a rock star, man. I got this down. This is just adding to my repertoire. Great. But some of you are going to relate to what the story I just told you. Okay. And if you feel stuck, I'm going to give you the tools on how to get unstuck. And it starts with you, and it starts with this right here. And we've got to turn it all around. Okay. So you are everything that is. Your thoughts, your life, your dreams come true. You are everything that you choose to be. You are as unlimited as the endless universe. Okay, so I am a devout Christian, and if you're not, that's okay. But I'm sorry, I'm going to speak from my center of belief. So I believe that God has created all of us in his own image, and therefore we are a reflection of his nature. Are we divine? Absolutely not. Can we speak life into existence like let there be light and there's light? No, that's God. I am not a divine creature, but he has given me the reflection of his divine nature. Therefore, I have it within me the capability to become everything he has destined for me to become. And that is same truth for you. So therefore, we have unlimited universal potential. And I'm going to mute. I'm going to do this a lot because people will join and drop out and more noise. So just be prepared, and my thoughts will be interrupted when that happens. You have unlimited human potential. As much potential as God will ever give a human being, that's what you have. We have heard that life is supposed to what life is supposed to offer: endless opportunities, fulfillment of our dreams, a chance to live each day in a way that brings happiness and success. Have you ever wondered then why things don't work out? Why is it that things don't work out the way that they should? Why do some people seem to be lucky while the great majority of the rest of us seem to not be? Okay, is it kismet? Is it kind of like a fate? Just something that just randomly happens, which in some mysterious way charts our destiny and leaves us in the steering of our course through life up to us? What holds us back? What holds us back? If we truly would like to do better, be the way that we really would like to be, and happier and more successful every day in every area of living, what is the wall that stands in our way? We're going to talk about the wall. The wall is going to be chapters 6, 7, and 8. That's next week. But he alludes to it right here. He's alluding to this dominant wall that we cannot get over. Okay? So what is this wall? This is where most people live. Look around you. Go through the people that you see every single day in your life. Think about them. Maybe they're in your family. Maybe they're people that you work with. Maybe they're people that you go to the gym with. Maybe they're people that you see at the store every day. I don't know. Who is in your life every day? And analyze. Shoulds, musts, and cannots. I should, I must, I can't. That's where most people live, in those things. Think about who are these people and what are they saying? Analyze that. You know, Shad says that he was told that it was bad to have your head in the clouds and it was really good to have your feet on the ground. Have you ever been told that it's really, you just better plant your feet on the solid ground and get realistic here? You're never going to be an NBA player. You'll never be the president of the United States. You've been given a skill set and you need to work with that. Okay. That's true to a certain extent. But when we are told over and over to have our feet planted on the ground and to be realistic, sometimes that can be really negative. We need to develop our unlimited human potential. And how are we going to do that if we are constantly being told by others and believe this belief that we've got to have our feet on the ground and that we need to be realistic? So practical matters of survival and acceptance. That's pretty much what that is. There's this nagging suspicion that there's more. More that's meeting the eye, but you just can't seem to do it. You know what? As a teacher for 23 years, I thought that's all there was. I'm not going to put down the teaching profession. I was a passionate teacher and I felt called. It took me about 10 years to feel called to the profession. I fought it because it's not easy. And anyone that says that teachers work, some of you might be teachers on tonight. Any one of you that says teachers have it easy, they work it from 8 to 3. Okay, well, you need to change your little philosophy. We work 50 and 60 hours. Thank you, Jesus. I'm retired May of 2016 as a senior Ruby. I was able to retire. But I will tell you this, I thought there was a glass ceiling, and I thought that the only way to get past that was to get more education and move into higher ed. I mean, what are you going to do? Change your career at the age of 45? Become a rocket scientist or something? A professional swimmer? How about a singer, a dancer? I'm going to go on American Idol. I don't think so. So we're told in our lives that we just go get another degree. We go get another certification. We get more skills. We get more knowledge, and we're going to make more money. No. We're always thinking that there's something we can do to better ourselves. And we're told by the world that we just need to get more education. We just need to get another certification. We need to do something to have something behind our name. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you that's not unlocking human potential. Sorry, I don't mean to diss the second degree or the higher ed, okay? And with the last year of my teaching career, I told my students that, and I made some parents mad. Oh, but I don't care. I was on my way out the door. And I loved them. And I was like, I'm going to tell you the truth. What if we could find what's stopping us and turn it all around? What if there is an answer and no one has looked in the right place? What if any of us at any time could reach up and literally touch the stars? What if? Have you thought about that? Have you literally wrapped your brain around the idea that you can do this? That you can actually do this? Because if you have not actually come to the point where you believe that this is for you, like Hawaii, the Lexus, the money, the rank, the notoriety, and all of your dreams coming true, okay? And by the way, the car, the trips, and the paycheck, that's just what you get when you get there. I'm talking about touching the stars and doing things that you never believed you could in your life. Because those things that you get, the car, the rank, all that, the money, the paycheck, the trips, that's going to give you the capability of accomplishing your dreams and touching the stars. I'm talking about, do you believe that you can actually do this? And if you don't believe it, then you'll never do it. And it doesn't matter how many books you read, and it doesn't matter how many seminars you attend, and it doesn't matter how many videos you watch of jewels who have gone before you, and it doesn't matter how many people you reach out to, and how much work you put into this, and how much mud you throw up on the wall. It will never stick until you get this right. So we're talking about that wall, that belief. So we've got to change our beliefs. And how do we change our beliefs? By changing our programming. We're going to talk about that. This guy analyzed all the different ways of looking at people and analyzing people. There are many answers to that question, but there's only one solution. He discovered after examining human behavior, motivational marketing, and academic psychology, there's only one solution. So what is it? What are the answers? Chapter 2. Chapter 2, the answers. Self-help. Oh, self-help has got to be the answer, right? Just learn how to manage your time. Learn how to become more generous. Learn how to love others more than yourself. Learn how to put other people in before yourself. Learn to be selfless, not selfish. You know, how many things are we going to learn how to do here? 20 years, Shad Helmstetter spent studying most of the literature of success, and consistently there was an unfulfilled promise, the promise of success waiting just around the corner. So the answers are becoming a true achiever, become a big goal setter, just learn how to set goals, become a high achiever, organize, become way more organized, think positive. Norman Vincent Peale wrote a book, The Power of Positive Thinking. Oh, we'll just read that book and everything will be fixed, right? No, not true. Be more creative, relate to others, become more centered. Sorry, none of it works. Works for a little bit. But then eventually you go back to the old things you always did, thinking the old ways you always thought, and doing all the things you always did in your past. Okay? So he says, I would take with a grain of salt anybody else's claim that they can give you the secret of success, because there's not. Okay, there's no secret. And if you think that jewels have a secret magic wand, that if you could just find that right answer, like, okay, if I watch enough videos, I'm going to find out the secret to their success. I'm going to figure out what they're doing that I'm not doing, and it's all going to be fixed. No, my friends, you've got to reprogram your own brain. Okay. What is belief? Let's discover that right now, okay? Because you hear this cliche all the time, and I'm going off track here, but I just have to say this. Belief is the foundation of everything. And it sounds cliche, but I want you to just stay with me for a moment. If somebody were to tell you that you need to reach out more, that you need to watch more videos, you need to show up to more events, you need to do live Zoom calls, you need to start training your team, you need to do this, and this, and you need to start managing your time, you need to all these things. Okay, you need to start sacrificing, start spending time away from your family, putting more time into your business. How many of these things do we hear all the time? Be more committed, draw your line in the sand. I mean, all this stuff, right? We hear that, but you're not going to do any of it. You won't do any of it unless you believe in yourself. Do you believe this is for you? Do you believe in you? Not in the product, not in the company, not in the comp plan, not in all the things of self-help. Not in all the areas of work and showing up for work. I'm talking about, do you believe in yourself? Because once you believe in you, you'll sacrifice time away from your kids. You'll give up your television. You'll give up all your favorite creature comforts. You're going to make that extra call. You're going to stay up extra late and make that one more follow-up. You'll get up extra early and line up all your Facebook posts. You'll do anything that it takes to make it happen. Belief is the essential quotient. And if you don't believe in yourself, all is for nothing. All is for nothing. So that's what we're talking about. Our beliefs that we have up here that are faulty, that literally determine our actions. And if we don't get those beliefs set the right way and reprogram them to be literally the truth instead of believing lies about ourselves, how in the world are we ever going to do this? I'm speaking to myself as soon as I speak to you. Whenever I speak to you and I preach like that, I'm preaching to myself. Look, even Jules, all of us, we're broken. We need fixing, and we've got work to be done. We're never going to be done doing our work. And we're never going to be stopping growing. We're going to always continue to grow. So I'm talking to myself just like I'm talking to you. Heart to heart, face to face, okay? Preaching to self, just like I'm preaching to you. So there's, why aren't all these little ways working? They work for a time, but then they quit. What makes them stop working? Have you ever gone to a pep rally and been motivated, externally motivated from a rally or conference or something? You've gone and you've talked it up. You've heard, you say, I'm going to go home and apply this stuff. I'm going to get this stuff going. I'm going to make this stuff work. Well, where did all the inspiration go 2 or 3 days after you get home? Why aren't you doing all that stuff? Why? Well, it's because the brain doesn't work that way. You cannot be externally motivated. That motivation comes from within, and that motivation comes from belief in yourself. Okay? So it's all up here. Your paycheck, guys, is between your 2 ears. You haven't figured that out. You got to figure that out. You have to know how to treat the brain, and you have to know how to treat it right. You've got to know how the brain works. You have to know how to treat it. And that's what's going to change everything. If you give your brain the wrong programming, it will take you down the wrong path in the wrong direction. So what are some examples of some negative programming? Well, you hear 148,000 no's from the day you're born all the way up through your teenage years. 148,000, you can't do this. You're not going to do that. You'll never do this. So 148,000 times kids that means you as a child, you heard no, right? So the occasional words of belief that were just occasional were far outweighed by all the daily doses of cannots. We can list them all out right now, what our parents told us we can't do. Leading behavioral researchers have told us that as much as 77% of everything that we think is negative, counterproductive, and works against us. Think about that. Think about it. 77% of what goes on up in here is counterproductive and negative, working against you. So why don't we get what's up here working for us instead of against us? So that means 75% of what we've got programmed up there is wrong. It's the wrong programming. The result is that without knowing what we're doing and with us not recognizing this immense effect, this casual programming was having on us as we were growing up, we've been programmed the wrong way. We didn't realize it. You couldn't have known it. Most of it was the wrong kind of programming, and we just took it to heart. You can't help it. You're a child. When you grow up as a child, you're taking that stuff to heart. We then begin to believe what we're being told by others and what we're telling ourselves that it was true. And guess what? It's not true. 99.9% of that crap, excuse me for saying, is not true if it's negative. If it was negative and if it was limiting, it's not true. Trust me, it's not. Even if it sounds true because it's more realistic in nature, doesn't make it true. Repetition is a convincing argument. You hear the stuff over and over again, and guess what? You're going to believe it. Then you begin to live out the picture of yourself that you've created in your own mind. You're living it out daily. In doing so, you create a wall, and it stands invisibly but powerfully between you and your unlimited future for as long as the old programming remains in force. And guess what? We can identify ourselves in that place and tons of people in our lives that are living behind that wall. Guess what, though? Doesn't have to be that way. We've got the answer right here. Now, am I the first person that's talking about reprogramming the brain? No. Tony Robbins is a huge professor of that. If you go out there and watch his videos, he talks about reprogramming the brain. Okay, I'm not necessarily a lover of Oprah Winfrey, but I love a lot of the things she says. And she talks about reprogramming the brain. She worked on that from when she was in her early 20s. She caught on to this. This book was written in the 80s. This is not a new concept, guys. As a man thinketh, so is he. That's a biblical concept right there. As you think, there you are. Right? Scientifically, that is correct. The biblical passage is the truth. We now know that by the incredibly complex physiological mechanism, a joint effort of the body, the brain, and the mind, we become the living result of our own thoughts. We are the result of our own thoughts. It's kind of a scary thing. We've got a proven relationship through scientific discovery that between our own mental programming and the matter of whether we will succeed or fail in any endeavor we undertake in life is the result of our programming and our thoughts. So this is the conditioning of others. It's virtually impossible for any of us to do anything, no matter how insignificant, without being affected by our conditioning. We are affected by our conditioning. We don't have any control over it. We're being conditioned. Now listen to this one. In short, how successful you will be at anything is inexorably tied to the words and the beliefs about yourself that you have stored up in your subconscious mind. And what is stored there for most of us was decided for us by who? Somebody else. Now, I want you to stop and think about this. A lot of you go to church and you hear and read the Bible and you hear the word preached at church and you say to yourself, I am not going to say negative stuff. I am not going to have that junk come out of my mouth. And you have found a way to stop it. You can control what comes out of your mouth. But how can you control your subconscious mind? I mean, seriously, you're chopping up vegetables on your kitchen counter and you're going through all the litany of garbage that you think about yourself right there. Boom, boom, boom. You might not be saying it, but you're thinking, I'm fat. I can't get a hold of my food. I really don't want to eat this stupid salad. Why the heck can I get control of my appetite? I just don't understand why I'm always dealing with this. And I'm in my mid-40s. And all that gibberish junk, this tape is playing up here in your head. How can you control? And then you stop and look, what am I thinking? Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to think that stuff. Some of you can actually stop yourselves and think, I'm not supposed to say that stuff to myself. But you don't have control over it because it's like constant. It's going on and on and on. And then you go and you get in your bed at night and you're not talking to your husband or your spouse or whatever. And you're not saying, here's what's going on in my mind, but you're thinking, how am I going to do this tomorrow? I just can't handle all the stress of this job. I don't know how I'm going to make it work. All these people depend on me. I've got these meetings to do. I don't know how I'm going to get that report done. And all that junk just plays. You relate to that? That's your subconscious. That's why some of you can't sleep at night, even though you're on Plexus. Right? Am I right? Do I hear the peanut gallery out there? Yeah, that's me, Suzanne. I know, because that was me. It still can be me. Sometimes I go in there. I mean, I literally, as a retired teacher that now has sleep and no stress, yeah. How am I going to get that Zoom done? How am I going to think? What's going to be the plan for this month for the team? What are we going to do? Of course we all go there, but we've got to stop that chatter. We've got to put a hold on that. Get the kibosh on it. So think for a moment what you might do differently tomorrow if you were somebody else. Somebody whose programming was different from yours. Your attitudes, your beliefs, your feelings are all different. What would that do to assure you of having an abundance of self-belief, enthusiasm, and achievement? Would that be something amazing if you could become this amazing version of yourself? Well, ask yourself these questions. What could your future hold? Do you see an unlimited potential in your future? I certainly do. With different preparation and conditioning, what would your future hold? Would it be the same as your future that holds for you today, or would it be better? I think it would be better. After all, success ultimately is up to the individual. It's up to you. It isn't the pen, it's the writer. It's not the pen, it's the writer. It's not the road, it's the runner on the road that counts. So, you will become what you think about the most. Bam. You will become what you think about the most. What are you thinking about? That's what you're becoming. Your success or your failure in anything, large or small, will depend on your programming and what you accept of others and what you say when you talk to yourself. It makes no difference. I want you to hear me on this. Oh boy, this is big. It makes no difference whether we believe it or that we don't. The brain simply believes what you tell it the most. It could be a complete lie, fabrication, straight out of the pit of hell. Boom, you believe it. Wow. And what you tell it about you, it will create in your life. Wow. So if we say constantly, I can't get a hold of my food, I can't get a hold of my appetite, why do I hate this salad? Why do I have to do this? I can't, why? Well, then you're going to just perpetuate that. You're going to continually have problems with your appetite. You're going to continually have problems with your food. You're never going to be able to get a hold of it, and you're going to always hate salads. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You keep saying that stuff to yourself, and you're going to become it. You're perpetuating it. You're making it into existence. You don't even have to believe the stuff. The brain believes what you tell it the most, and what you tell it about you, you create. Religion affirms this ancient truth. I already talked about how it's biblical, right? What we think, we become. Okay. So if we can learn to override the old programming and replace it with specific word for word new programming, and by the way, that's what we're going to do with this whole study. We're going to start off with the simple, and we're going to take it to the complex. And we are going to really hone in on self-talk. And I'm going to show you through the next few weeks. We're going to spend 7 weeks in this book, and that's it, because we're going to get this skill down so you can start using it now. You don't want to have to drag this on for 20 weeks. You got to get the skill down now, and you got to start refining, remaking it, making it simpler, making it more specific. And we're going to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that. And this book gets into the details of how to do it. We start simple and we make it a little bit more complex till we really hone in on those specific things that you're struggling with the most. So a word for word specific new program. And if you can do this in such a way that we could affect and improve our attitudes and our behavior, like that, boom. Like you start saying this stuff to yourself, the right words, the right programming, you start saying it over and over. I need to remute, sorry. If you start doing that over and over and over, tomorrow you could go out and start being successful. I'm not kidding. You can tomorrow start doing things better than you're doing today. It's that quick. So programming controls habits that change the programming. You're going to change your habits. I'm going to really sweep over some of this stuff. All the best-selling success solutions are really fleeting. All of those best help, those self-help, you control your habits, change your life. You know, we can work on that forever. That's just going to be a failure. It's an attempt at failure. It's like an attempt at futility, right? Sorry, I'm reading a few things that I'm going to skim over. Even when we are given specific instructions on how to live successful lives, like step by step, do this, do this, do this, do this, given the specific instructions, few of us have ever done it. Have you ever realized that? You've been told to do this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you're like, well, if I just do that, then I'd be a different person. Everything would be working fine, right? Well, duh, but have you ever done it? No. Why? Why have you never done it? Because your programming is still faulty. It's all faulty up there. So what's the missing link? What doesn't work? What doesn't work? All the how-tos. The how-tos of making more money, better time managers, losing weight, overcoming depression, get a better job, set some goals, live better with others, manage your time more, generally be more successful. All those tried and true techniques of success with very little results, right? So he went and talked with all the major gurus of all the different success people in industry, okay? He talked to them all. And the question that he continued to ask himself is, if there are so many good solutions, why aren't they creating permanent changes in our lives? Why? The problem is, I'm just going to jump ahead just a second, none of it is permanent. You can do it and it'll work for a little while. It'll work for a little while, but it's not permanent. So you're going to have these self-perpetuating beliefs that are limiting, that rule your subconscious for the rest of your life if you keep trying to do self-help and you don't reprogram. You've got to focus on reprogramming. Got to do it. So he's still selling it. He's still selling you, why do you do self-talk? Why is this? Here's the most popular. I'm just going to read a few. 30 years of how-tos, like believing in yourself, get your priorities straight, take responsibility for yourself, create your own future, focus on what you want, learn to visualize the outcome of your goals. Wow, I like that one. Never let anybody control your destiny. Be creative. Think big. The power, of big thinking. The magic of thinking big. I think that's a book title, right? Yeah, I have it on my shelf over there. Haven't read it yet, by the way. It's on my list. Control your stress level, improve your life. Okay, so be courageous. Don't hate people. Be tolerant. Do everything with love. I mean, the list goes on and on. Has anybody ever done all this stuff effectively at all times? No, nobody's done it. Like nobody. Well, and if you have, then I think you'd be Jesus, right? And none of us are. So if the principles in all these cases, even detailed instructions are given clearly outlined for us. Why do we need more books and more solutions and more reminders? What's the missing link? What's the missing key? Well, 3 things missing. Permanence. That means it's not permanent. Any of the stuff that we do is not going to stay in there. It's not going to be permanent. Number 2, knowledge of brain physiological processes. If you don't know how the brain works, you're going to learn a little bit about that. If you don't know how it works, then how in the world can you understand how to make it work? And number 3, word for word new programming, the subconscious mind. That's what's missing. Learning how to control your actual subconscious mind. Okay, those are the 3 things that are missing. Permanence, knowledge of how the brain works and its physiological processes, and also word for word new brain programming, the subconscious. Okay, so the only solution is self-talk. Self-talk. We're going to self-talk our way to the top. Romy Neustadt, which is in the next book that we're going to read, I got that one right here, Get Over Your Damn Self. What she talks about is she says, by the way, this is the next one, so you can buy this one now. We're not doing it yet, but you can buy it. It's called Romy Neustadt. That's the author. Get Over Your Damn Self. She talks about how you're going to talk your way to the top. Well, guess what? We can include Shad Helmstetter in that because you're going to talk to yourself the way to the top. You're going to talk to yourself and you're going to talk to other people and you're going to talk your way to the top. That's what you're going to do. It's the truth. Okay? Real quick. Like real quick. The computer, imagine a computer. It has a screen. It has a keyboard and a storage disk. I'm going over chapter 4 like real quick. It has a screen, it has a keyboard, and it has a storage disk. What is the screen? It's our appearance of our actions. It's our appearance, okay, and our actions. The keyboard is like the 5 senses that we have, what we hear, what we see, what we taste, we touch, smell, or what we say to ourselves, right? And our storage disk is the subconscious mind. So our personal computer is compared to the actual mind. Our mind has 3 parts, and I just told them to you, okay? And we have like in our brain a wall of light switches, okay? And this wall of light switches, thousands of switches, our health, our emotions, planning, hopes, dreams, how we act, how we move, how we sit and stand, how we look, how we speak, how we react, how we respond. Our memory, judgment, attitudes, fears, creativity, logic, and spirit. That's all these switches in our brain, okay? And when a command is sent to these switches within a fraction of a second, some of those switches are turned off or they're turned on. Most of the time they're turned off. Hate to say it. Remember, 77% of what goes on up there is negative. Yikes. So we're turning the switches off all the time. We got to learn how to turn them on. So neurotransmitters govern which switches are on and which switches are off. So we are going to reprogram our neurotransmitters so that they can turn on switches instead of turn them off. That's what we're doing. Okay, so thoughts. Thoughts are the commands of the brain. Thoughts. That stuff when you're chopping up your lettuce and your salad at your countertop, that junk that keeps going, that's what commands the brain. And these are biochemical electrical impulses. They're called thoughts. And we need to learn how to control them, because when we can control our thoughts, we are going to control our destiny. Does that sound etherical in nature? Does that sound philosophical? Well, wait till it starts playing out in your daily life and we'll see how philosophical it really is. You need to believe me. It's not hocus pocus. I know when I first started teaching this to my team, they're like, okay, I'm just going to do this stuff. I got to do it. All right. I believe in myself. I'm gold ambassador by May, such and such, blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, they didn't believe in the process and they were just going through the motions, and they're not going to get anywhere doing that. But now they've started to see it because I've taught it and taught it and taught it and taught it. And it's a part of their IPA, and it has been for months and months and months and months now. So you're going to start to see all the results from this if you start to really put this into action. And I'm now in chapter 5. he gives some negative examples. For example, there was a kid who played this musical instrument beautifully, and he just was this genius, right? And this guy comes into the house or whatnot. I can't remember exactly. I don't want to read it word for word. And he overhears the musical teacher saying, well, he's never going to do X, Y, Z. And so that kid believed that for the rest of his life. And he had this musical genius, and it never amounted to anything. And he became a failure at music. And then the positive example is where this other kid at 6 years old overheard a man tell his mother that he was extremely creative and knew that he would grow up to do things that were creative. And now this guy, Mike Vance, is the dean of Walt Disney University. Now, I don't know if that's still the case, because this was back in like 1980 something, which is the most creative place in the world, right? So, I mean, it depends on what do you hear. If you're hearing lies from people, they don't mean to lie to you, but they just don't believe you can do something. Well, you take that on as your own belief, and then you're going to perpetuate it. So don't allow that. So unconscious conditioning. That's what we're getting, unconscious conditioning from others. As long as you and I allow other people to program us in a way that fits their choosing, we are without a doubt out of control. We don't have any control over it. We're completely out of control with our thoughts. They run us. We don't run them. They control us. And guess what else they control? Our destiny. We are captives. We're slaves to our subconscious thoughts. That's what we are, to the whims of some unknown destiny, not quite recognizing what hangs in the balance is the fulfillment of our own future. Now, if we made little difference, whether the pictures of ourselves, which we created, were, it makes, I'm going to reword it, it makes very little difference whether the pictures of ourselves, which we created, were true or not. It doesn't make any difference if they were lies or if they're true. Okay? Our experiences and our acceptance of what we heard from other people and what we told ourselves became the foundation for the mental programming which directs us today. It is. We need to come up with a self-directed mind. We need to figure out a way to direct our own mind, and we need to make it a self-directed mind. We have a personal onboard computer. We are literally boarding a plane. Can you imagine boarding a plane that's got a computer on board that if you knew the airplane's onboard computer was programmed wrong, would you want to get on that plane? No way. No way, because it's going to crash. Well, I don't know if I can take off the right way. Well, I don't know. Am I pressing the right switch? Well, if I press the switch, will it do the right thing? Well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't press it. What? You're not going to get on a plane that thinks that way. You don't want an onboard computer on a plane that thinks that way, right? Well, that's what we're dealing with on our daily lives. We are walking around with this faulty onboard computer. So we've got to give ourselves, and I'm really skimming, I'm almost done. We've got to give ourselves a new set of directions. We got to get rid of our old negative programming, dragging us down, holding us back. If we can just learn to give ourselves specific, productive, new directions to our minds, then we have a fighting chance to make things work and keep them working. And any of us can do this, guys. Any of us, once we recognize what the real wall is, we can get past it. And that's for next week, chapters 6, 7, and 8. So what I want to do is share with you a few of my thoughts, and then I'm done. You can ask me questions if you want. So what is this class really all about? What is it? People really, what they do is they go outward. They go outside of themselves for the new latest idea, for the next conference to get excited about, when the best way to become successful is really to start peeling back the onion layers. Find out what's really, truly holding you back, and then push through that, over that hump, so that you can get past it. This is not going to be easy. The friend I was on the phone last night with, I said, this not going to be easy to write down all those lies that your father told you that were really bad. They were hurtful. I mean, really hateful. why I think she avoided it for all these months and months that we've known each other, and she's been on all my Zooms. Why has she avoided doing it? Because it doesn't feel good to look at that junk that someone has said to you that you've taken on. And she even told me, I thought I'd overcome that. I thought because I've gotten better at belief. I'm like, but where's your business? You feel more confident? Great. You look better. You've changed your appearance even. But where's your business? Where's the results? Okay. And it's about getting results and having productivity. So you're going to have to peel back the onion layers. It's not easy to go emerald. It's not easy to go sapphire or diamond. It's not easy. It's about it's not about what you know. It's about what you do with what you know. That's what it's all about. What you do with what you know. It's not about going from one event and then waiting until you get to the next person that's a rock star on your team. It's not going from event to event to event, getting motivated, managing your team, and waiting for the next really amazing superstar that you're going to sponsor. It's about becoming the best leader that you can be. And becoming a leader takes a lot of layers of doing. There's a lot of layers of doing that makes you a leader. A leader acquires personal growth and then takes that personal growth and transfers it to the team. Leadership requires transparency. It requires vulnerability. Being you, not worrying about what you sound like, what you look like when you say and do what you do. You're going to have to just be you. Show your team all your faults. Tell them what you struggle with on a daily basis. Show them that you're working, but show them your faults. Show them what you struggle with. Admit when you make mistakes. Admit when you make mistakes. It's not easy to do that. But they will love you. Why? Because they are screwed up too. And they make mistakes too. And they're broken just like you are. And if they see that you can do it, then they can do it. If they're like, that broken chick can do this, then I can do this. And that's what you show them. I'm going to go back and mute again. Almost done. So many of us think that leadership is something that's out there beyond, that we have to just figure out or claim or whatever. That we try to become this thing that's out there, but really leadership is only one thing. It's only one thing. It's influence. Leadership is influence. I'm not talking about, influence with your prospects for sure. Influence with your team. When you say, I'm having a team meeting, this is what happens with my team. I could get on a Saturday morning. I'm not kidding. I could get on a Saturday morning and put a post on my team page that says, we're having an emergency team meeting tonight, strategy session. I need you to show up. You got to show up. This is important. You want to go up, you're going to show up. Guess what? They all show up. That's influence. I'm not trying to brag. I am not trying to brag. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they believe in my vision. They believe in what I'm going to have to say to them when they show up on the call. So they know that I love them and I have their best interest at heart. I've poured my life out into them. I've literally bled out. I've been myself. I get on just this morning. Okay, I could pull up my phone. I was getting ready to grab my phone. If I do, you won't see what I'm doing. But I grab my phone and I make videos of myself 2 and 3 minutes at a time and I post them to my team chat. These are my runners. These are the people that work hard. They get to see who I really am. They get to see my fears. You know, there was a fear thing that we did the other night, last Sunday, and all these jewels came on and gave their fears, and they burned them up and tore them up and threw them in a trash can and in a toilet bowl or whatever. And I wasn't on that Zoom, so I did all my fears for my team. I literally recorded, here's all my fears, and I literally went there, and they were hard to admit. Yeah, guys, I struggle with this fear. Bold Suzanne struggles with this fear. And they were, you know, a lot of them had shocked, eyes open. But guess what they did? They love me. They poured love on me because they know that they're broken too. And when you show your team that you have a vision and you show them who you really are, you get real, then you become a leader. Become a leader. For every person that says that it can't be done, there's always somebody else out there doing it. So don't tell me you can't do this. You can't give me one reason why you can't be on that beach in Hawaii. You can't give me one reason, not one. So we need to become masters of connecting with people. We have to. And we're going to connect with our prospects. We're going to ask a lot of questions. We're going to learn how to love them by listening. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We need to learn how to listen. And we need how to be masters of connecting with our team. Create a culture of love. Create a family experience for them. A soft place where they can come and fall. They can be who they are with you as well. That's what you need. So, do you have a vision? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Do you have a vision? Do you actually have a vision for yourself, your own business, and for your actual team? Do you share that vision with your team? Do you do that? How in the world can you become an effective leader if you don't share your vision with your team? If you don't even know what it is, are you busy sharing copied and pasted things from other people, other jewels? Are you just posting something on your team page to be posting something? When you start stepping up to the plate and you lead your team with your vision and your power and your personal brokenness and who you are, and you get vulnerable, I am telling you, you are going to create a culture that is unstoppable and unshakable and relentless, and they will show up and they will go up with you, and you will hold hands and do it together. It's not you up here and them down here. It's you right here with them. It doesn't matter that you have a higher rank. You're doing it with them. You're all in the trench together, pulling in the same direction. So when there's no vision, the people perish. That's a biblical concept. So I want you to also ask yourself, do you really believe that if somebody believes that they want something bad enough, they can get it? Because if you answer that question yes, then you can actually have it as well. Leadership is caught. It's not taught. You're not going to go out and teach your team a bunch of leadership stuff. They're going to catch it because you're showing them by example who you are. Start having a vision. Start casting it. Start uncovering your own onion layers of who you are. What are your hangups? What are your limited self-beliefs? Start getting real with yourself. Get yourself out there. Be vulnerable. Be vulnerable on your timeline. Get on live videos. And that's pretty much it. The homework assignment is going to be this. I'm going to talk about it right now. It's real simple. Some of you have already done it, okay? Begin thinking about your own self-talk and pay attention to it throughout each day this week, and keep a pen or paper or a recording device that's on your phone nearby so that you can jot down the things that you say to yourself. I want you to identify some of these things that you're talking about to yourself. Do they help you or hurt you? Are they helpful or hurtful? Begin to notice how your self-talk is phrased. Does your self-talk revolve around phrases like I can't and I should or I need to? Really begin to pay attention to how you talk to yourself and write down those phrases that you catch yourself saying to yourself daily. Then some of you have already done this, but you're going to write down your 10 biggest fears. If you've not already done it, go ahead and do that. And I will provide a link for you to watch so that you can turn those fears into positive affirmations. Some of you have already watched that video. You're going to flip those fears into positive affirmations. You're going to write them on index cards, put them on a list on your phone, in your notes section. You're going to post them wherever you are, on your calendar, near your workstation. And if you use the ThinkUp app, you can use it. It's called a ThinkUp app. It's called ThinkUp. It's a free app, or you can download the $9.99 one, and I have that one. I have the one that you have to pay for. You're going to have all these great things that are on it that you can use. You're going to start saying your positive affirmations to yourself at least 10 times daily. Yeah, you heard me right, 10 times daily. Set little notifications on your phone. Watch how you change if you start doing that. Watch how you change. Set alarms. You can do it. Begin each day with an attitude of gratitude. Do a checkup from the neck up. Like Helen McFadden says, start your day off thinking about and being grateful for what you have and where you are on the way to where you're going. and say this stuff out loud. Say your positive affirmations out loud. Listen to them out loud. Make one of these affirmations one of your rank up goals. It needs to be your next rank up goal, and it needs to have a date associated with it. Okay? Remember that a goal without a deadline is just simply a wish. And with that, please let me know if you have questions. We have hit 1 hour. We're at the 1 hour mark. Okay? So if you have a question, tell me what that is. I've got 191 people on the chat. I have 173 on the live Zoom. I'm looking at the Zoom. Anybody have a question? If you do, unmute yourself. Don't all at the same time, though.
Oh. Am I unmuted?
Looks like it.
Okay. I'm trying to write all this down as quick as I can, but can we give a chance? Okay, you'll post it?
Absolutely. I'm going to record this. It's being recorded. I'm going to upload it to the team page tonight. It's really not a team page, but it's a group page. I'm going to put the assignment right there. It's in written form. I am not posting this live video that's on right now. It's going to go bye-bye as soon as I'm off.
Just the homework. I was trying to write it down as quick as possible, but perfect. Thank you.
You don't need to.
You did awesome.
Go ahead. Say that again.
I said you did awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Who am I talking to?
Emily.
Emily. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Does anyone else have a question or a comment or?
This is Fabrienne.
Hi, Fabrienne.
You said about earlier that we were doing this for the next 7 weeks.
Yes.
I am 100% fully committed, but I have one question. Halloween falls on a Tuesday. Are we still doing this meeting on Halloween?
Let me take a look.
I just need to know for scheduling purposes because I'm helping out at the church, so I just need to know what section to schedule.
We have it on the calendar.
Okay, no problem.
You're right. It is Halloween. That means some of you will not show up. I will show up. I will be there.
Yeah, I'll be here. I just need to know because I'm at our church function. I just need to know if I was doing afternoon or evening. That's all.
You know, Rhonda and I have discussed the calendar, and we have planned things throughout the month of February, literally that far in advance with the next book. And I haven't actually told her this, but I'm going to ask her about it because we said in the beginning that we weren't going to stop for any reason. We're going to just plow through. I think we need to take the week of Christmas off, actually. I had a rethink on that. And really what I think we'll do is I will post the chapter assignments to read and get you a chance to buy the book. Those people who don't have it yet, they can buy the next book and we will schedule, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So again, we've got a few weeks before Christmas to make it. Yes. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Who am I talking to?
Christy.
Christy. Hi, Christy.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, my son's birthday is actually on Halloween. And then, of course, the holidays following. But if we're not able to get on the Zoom, will we be kicked out of the group?
I can't kick you out of the group. I won't. Okay, here's what I've told my team. I'm telling my team who's in here, this is what I want you to do. This is what I'm expecting you to do. And I'm asking them to send me their information privately when I'm asking them, like, what's your IPA? What are you doing? What's this? What's that? I'm having them do that. I'm so-called keeping them accountable, and they're holding themselves accountable, but there is no Plexus police.
Okay, no.
But there might be your upline that does that. I mean, it just depends, okay? But ultimately, your accountability is up to you, and what you do with this will be you, because you have the words independent ambassador after your name.
Yes, ma'am.
I know. You get that.
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay if you have stuff you got to do. Just do it and then watch it the next day. Do the work.
Okay.
You'll have it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No one's judging you. I'm not going to judge you.
You are awesome, and I appreciate everything you have done tonight. This has been awesome.
You. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question? Yes.
I have a quick question. Shirley, hi, it's Mary.
Hi, Mary. I'm Suzanne, by the way.
Yes.
It's okay.
The ThinkUp app, is that the same name for Droid phones, or is it something different?
I think it's the same thing. ThinkUp. It's called ThinkUp. It's got a little leaf on it. It's just an orange little square. It's got a white leaf on it. You can also do Repeat It Again, but Repeat It Again is a real generic app. It's free. You can record your own voice. I really love ThinkUp because it's got music behind it. You can choose, especially if you pay $10 and get the real app. And every time it updates, it has new stuff and awesome more stuff that goes into it. I love it. You'll love it. Worth the $10. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hey, Suzanne, I have a question for you.
Sure. It's Brooke. Hey, Brooke.
Hey. Okay, so, I love you, and I just relate to you so much and everything you say. I am just I'm kind of on this personal growth journey because I feel like this is all the stuff I say to my team, but there's a part of me that maybe doesn't believe it somewhere. And I talk to my upline about this a lot. I feel like I draw my line in the sand, but then I get stuck again. And then I draw my line in the sand and I get stuck. But I'm not sure what it is. So I was curious, where along your journey did you realize that, like, I hear you saying, you have to believe in your own goals. And I think that I do. Like, on the surface I do, but deep there must be something I don't. And I come from a long line of all this, like, negative self-talk, like you said. And so I'm sure that's where it is. I'm going to do what you suggested and kind of start writing down all the things that I've heard throughout my life and reverse them. But I'm just curious for your own journey, like, because I feel like you and I are very similar. Where was it that turned for you into just, you were sure that you really believed you were going to be a Jewel?
Okay, I'm going to be honest, and you won't relate to me. I'm just going to be honest with you, and you might not relate to me, and that goes for all of you, okay? I heard some negative things growing up from time to time, but I was, some of you probably might relate to this, that you had a family that loved you and poured their lives into you, but I was always told I could do anything I ever wanted to do. I was told that if I wanted to do something, my mom was going to find the money to do it. She was going to figure it out. She would go without. She would starve to make sure I had whatever opportunities that I wanted. I watched my sponsor, who's a diamond, by the way. I watched her do what she was doing with Plexus for 8 months, and I was extremely skeptical. I would even text her skeptical things, saying, I don't believe that picture you just posted. You're sucking it in. I want you to go take another picture where you're not sucking it in, and I might believe it. I mean, that's how bad it was, okay? I was a customer that quit after 6 weeks and got my 60-day money-back guarantee. I will never tell that to any of my prospects because I don't want them to duplicate me, right? Don't duplicate my stuff. That's how skeptical I was. I had lost 100 pounds and was keeping it off, and I thought all this junk was about weight loss. I didn't think I needed the product, so I didn't think, I don't need the product. But it was when she started making money. And it was when she was successful and she started doing things with her kids and she started taking them places and going on trips. And when she posted a video about how she was going to replace her income and double and triple it and be a stay-at-home mom forever, and how she loved her kids at school that she taught, but she loved her family more. And by God, she was going to do it. I believed her because I grew up with her. I knew who she was. And so I said, take me to breakfast and show me the comp plan. I want to see all this stuff. You want to show me how you're doing it. And if I can see that I can do what you're doing, then by golly, I'm going to do it. And that night I joined her because I saw what the opportunity was. I saw what the comp plan was. I joined for the business. I did not think I needed product. I got on the product to get just as a default because I was going to sell the stuff. I better get on it. And so the belief was day one. That's not you might not relate to that. I'm like, look, she's a passionate teacher. I'm a passionate teacher. She works hard. I work hard. Heck, I even think I said all this in her Diamond documentary. She works hard. I work hard. She can do it. I'm going to do it. Why can't I do what she's doing? And I just started doing it. I have an extremely driven belief in myself. And I've done network marketing before twice, and it never worked. I was successful in the rights of successfulness, and if helping people wanted what I had and stuff, but it was selling jewelry, and it was doing this really saturated other massive company that, so I never made any money. And I just didn't think that this network marketing gig worked. I didn't think anybody made money at this until I saw her doing it. And so if that testifies to the fact that you keep doing it and people are watching you. I joined her because of a why video. Bam! A why video with tears welled up in her eyes, talking about, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, and by golly, I'm going to do it. I believed her. I called her up, and that's when I went and joined her. And
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, I was one of the level 1 rock stars on her team.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that I mean, I do relate to that a lot in the sense that I didn't know what I was getting into, but I went full force from the very beginning. I ranked very quickly to Ruby and then kind of sat for a year. I had a lot of personal stuff I had to kind of deal with. And now I'm just kind of, I don't know, there's a part of me that sometimes feels like I'm a fraud. Like I believe it, but I feel like I speak so much belief into my team. And then I feel like, do I speak the same belief into myself? You know, I don't know. So, well, thanks for sharing that.
Be honest with them. Are they on here tonight? Are they hearing you say that you have problems believing in yourself? Don't you think, Brooke, that would help them?
I do say it. I don't think they believe it. Like, I think they see, I mean, in the same way that I'm sure your team would say, like, look at you, you've got it all figured out.
They see all my brokenness. My team.
Yeah, I'm really transparent with people, and I try that. But
good.
There's something.
You identify the lies that you were told. You identify those lies and you start thinking about them and make that your number 1 mission. I want you to all focus on that. I want you to start identifying the lies that people have told you about yourself that you literally believe that are true. And you start writing them down. And I bet you can come up with 100 of them or more, especially those of you who have been really conditioned to believe these things about yourself. Start writing them down and you're going to be blown away by how many you come up with. And you'll get to a place where you can't recall. And then you'll be, because it's your mission, in the middle of the night, you'll wake up and go, oh my God, that's right. He said that to me growing up. My dad said that, or my mom said, oh my God. And you'll write that down. You need to write it down immediately. Wake up completely, put it on your phone, put it on somewhere, and don't neglect it because it'll be a fleeting thought. Remember, it's subconscious. So get that stuff down. Bring it out of the subconscious into the real world, and we're going to work on that. Anybody else? Annette, did you have your hand up?
I've got a quick question. I don't have my video on, so you just see my name. So,
hi, Allison.
Hey, how are you? So on the app that you had mentioned, that's a new one for me. I have Subliminator and I have Repeat It Again.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Subliminator, but it doesn't have a time limit. So you can go in and record your own. There's already pre-recorded things in there for common, I guess it's more of an addiction type thing. But then you can go in and record your own. And I think there's like a 20-minute time limit. So I read through this book this summer and it was amazing. I'm excited to read through it again. But so on these, is it best to have them just short and sweet? Because I haven't really looked at this new app, but I noticed they're just really like one-liners.
You can edit them.
Okay.
Yeah, you can edit them all. You can make them massive paragraphs if you want.
Okay. Is it best, in your opinion, to do just short and sweet, or should you kind of expound?
You're going to find out that you're going to need a set of 15 scripted affirmations regarding one topic in order to really counteract one of your biggest hang-ups. Okay.
So like what I did at the end of the book, you know how it has you to write down all of your negative things. So I did that. And I mean, it was pages after pages after pages. Yep. And I know my upline is on here probably still. She's probably laughing at me right now. But so what I did on the Subliminator was go in and do a counter statement and then recorded all those, but it took forever to do that. So 15 per topic.
Yes. And if you scroll through to the end of the book, it's going through in the later chapters, you're going to get scripted examples on how to change your attitude about stuff or how to change your habits about stuff. Okay. And then you can even buy, let me just go get this. Hang on. I got another book. Hang on. Let me have All right.
So give me give me an idea of what you would call a topic. Like fear of.
It doesn't have to be fears. See, fears are different. The fears are like ideas or concepts that I'll put that book up here in a minute. Hang on. Fears are ideas or concepts that you have regarding about your life. Like I'm afraid to fly, or I'm afraid of failure. See, that's not something that's been lied to you.
Okay, so like let's say ignores on the Facebook Messenger. I hate the little ignore symbol, and it just throws me for a loop when people don't respond. So I have a fear of reaching out to people because I just assume that they're going to ignore me. So is that kind of what you're talking about
right.
there?
Those are fears, but those are completely different, but they're rooted in the beliefs that you had that were created by the lies that were told you. So your fears are real and they are there, but they are a result of the false limiting beliefs that you've taken on because you've been reconditioned. You've been conditioned to believe all those things growing up, and you believe the lies. And they are lies, a lot of the lies that you believe. So if you can identify the lies, then we can turn those. And that's really next week that we're doing that. But you're
okay.
That's okay. It's okay. You just do it. And so right now we're talking about fears, because fears are concepts. They're etherical and philosophical, but we don't know where they come from. Well, you're going to find out where your fears come from when you define your lies that you've been told.
Okay.
That you believed your whole life. So the self-talk solution, this is really good too. It's by Shad Helmstetter. It is, by the way, this is a picture of Shad. Oh, isn't he good looking? So anyway, the first half is basically the same stuff that we've been talking about here, but the last half, look at this. Okay, like there's a topic on managing money, okay? And there's a ton, look at this, a script on positive affirmations on how to manage money. Do you see what I bought it for? I bought it because of the scripts that are in here. So we've got a script on, I want to become financially free. So we've got all this scripting on financial freedom. Okay. So these are positive affirmations on all these, like weight loss, getting started with weight loss, getting more sleep, energy and enthusiasm. I mean, we could just go on forever in a day. But there's really great, why write them yourself if you got a whole bunch in here? I mean, I literally bought that book for that. That's all I bought it for. I have not read the first half of it. I don't care about it. I just want the scripts. Okay. The Self-Talk Solution by Shad Helmstetter. I bought it used, guys. Okay. Y'all might buy the whole thing out. I don't know. There might only be like 14 more copies. I don't know. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying that. I've had a lot of practice being a teacher. I've had a lot of practice. $1.84. Anybody else have a question?
I think I finally figured out how to turn on the microphone. I couldn't figure it out.
Hey, Annette.
Sorry.
Hey, Annette. What's going on?
Oh, well, tonight was amazing. I almost started crying a couple times because it really hit home on a lot of things. Now I'm going to start crying again. What if you don't really have, I have an upline, obviously, and she has a team, but the people that have my who I would consider my team, they're all just like wholesale. Like they don't want leadership, I guess, is what
you got a bunch of wholesale customers. That's it.
Yeah. And so I don't, when I try to, be, say, hey, this would be really awesome. You got to, you want to jump on this, and they say that they're like, oh, I need to make more, I really need to make more money. And I'm like, this could do this, and I try to be positive with them. They just kind of ignore me. And
you can't motivate the uninspired. You need to go get some people that want the opportunity. And you need to let those people watch you run it with this. Like, for example, let's say you went and found somebody tomorrow that was amazing, that really caught the vision for the opportunity, and you start leading with the business, by the way. Stop leading with the product. The product is there. It's amazing. Lead with the business. Share the opportunity with everybody you talk to first. That's the first thing you talk about. And then Back it up with saying that the reason why I'm here doing this and having this success is because this incredible product. But hey, would you be interested? Would you be open? Would you be open to looking at something that would help you earn a really amazing extra side income if it didn't interfere with what you were already doing?
Well, see, that's the thing, it's like but I don't have, even if I'm not there. Oh, sorry.
Hear me one more thing and then ask me a question. Okay. So you're not going to motivate these people. You're not going to go and get these people to start working. What you're going to do is you're going to find somebody that wants to work. You're going to work with them. You're going to post on the team page. You're going to get all excited. And you're going to start adding. You're going to recruit together and blah, blah, blah. And these people are maybe going to start doing it too, or maybe never. Maybe never do it. Maybe just sit there and keep taking the product.
Okay.
So that's what you're going to do. You're going to go find new blood.
Okay. I guess I'm just like, I guess I just feel like because I'm not making any money right now.
Okay.
Like and then that's part of the reason I think my husband is not as supportive is because he doesn't see the money coming in. He sees the money going out for my product, but he doesn't see any money coming in. And so he's having a really hard time believing that it's not just another multi-level MLM. And so that's where a lot of my self-doubt and my negative talk is coming from, because I have nothing to say to him to that. I'm trying, I'm working on it. I'm doing my IPA and I'm reaching out to people, way more people than I was. This week has definitely been out of my comfort zone actually this last week and a half has been really out of my comfort zone for just about everything. I just, I'm having a really hard time with trying to be positive about it being a business because I have nothing to show him. And so that's where I'm kind of.
I counsel people like that on my team all the time. I do. I mean, and it starts with you. I mean, it starts with you attracting the right folks. It starts with you becoming more influential, you being able to inspire people that you talk to give this a try, to really go for it and see if they can get their product paid for. I mean, leading with the business.
I think that's probably my hardest part is leading with the business, because I'm like, I don't have nothing to show them to say, hey, look, I just paid for my bill.
That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy.
Okay.
Because I started day one with no paycheck, no team, no customer base, no testimony, not a thing. And all I did was share the success of my upline. She's doing this, I'm going there too. She's doing that, I'm doing that too. This is where this Chris McCall is doing it. This one's doing it. I'm going to do. Why don't you do it with us?
Okay.
I mean, it's called belief. That you can do it, and that's the etherical thing you're missing. You're missing that belief, and you've got to start nailing that belief, because if you can, I mean, like I could literally had nobody, and I could say that to somebody, and they would want to join me because they believed that I believed. And I'm not saying that I've got something that you don't, except for that I have that belief, and it's not a magic wand. You're going to have to work on your belief in yourself. And when you become belief, if you embody a belief, you'll be unstoppable.
Okay.
Really what that is. And it sounds so pie in the sky.
It does.
Step 1, step 2, step 3, here's what you do. Now you've got the belief, you're good to go. I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, watching Diamond Docs, reading more books, doing self-talk. That's discover the lies and attack the lies. Get that crap turned around and you'll be on the right track. Trust me. Watch how you'll have new boldness. You'll have new boldness when you start dealing with the self-talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got the Think Up app. I tried the Repeat It or whatever, but it looked like a game or something when I tried to open it, and I was like, I'm not even going to mess with this one. So I went for the Think Up app, and I did record one affirmation, but it's like, I guess it was only like you only get 3, and then you have to pay for it. And again, I'm hemorrhaging money, and so my husband's like, "You're not buying a book. You're not doing this. You're not doing that." So I'm kind of like, okay, I told my upline just the other day, because she's like, you need to buy this book. And I'm like, well, I have the PDF, so I am doing the homework. But I told my husband, I said, I'll sell some of the baby clothes and some of the baby toys so I have money.
You'll do it.
I can do this, because that's the only way I can spend money on this right now, is because he's like, no.
Right.
And since he's the breadwinner right now, which that's not going to be, I'm going to surpass that. It will happen. I need to do that. I need to get that belief going. That's
right.
Well, thank you again so much for tonight.
You will do it. You will do it. You can do it.
Thank you. Thank you for tonight.
It's for absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
I was just gonna say I enjoyed your video the other day too.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Very much so.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Bye. Bye.
Does anyone else have a question? We're hitting the 9:25 mark. It is now an hour and 25-minute long video. Does anybody else have a question? I think, if you have questions, you can add them to the chat, like under the video when I post it. Remember, that's where you're going to post your actual assignment answers. Tomorrow night, Rhonda's going to be on. If you think this is good, you're going to want to hear her take. She's really cool. She's come through a lot of adversity. You're going to want to hear her take. So if you guys are struggling, go and listen to her story. Some of you say you have a hard upbringing. That's her. Okay. She's going to get really vulnerable with you. So I think that we've had a great night tonight. Love all y'all from me to you. There is no code word. If you're doing a code word, here's the deal. If your team, and you've got your team, if you're a Jewel and you have your team on, or if you're a team member under a Jewel that's doing this, send your assignments to your team member, your upline. Send your assignment. There's no code word. Send your assignment to your upline, and that's your proof that you've done the work for the video today, okay? All right. Love all y'all. It's recording. I'm going to put it on tonight. Staying up extra late. I need to eat dinner. Okay. Mwah. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, but next week you'll have a recording of me with this outfit. We're in the same thing, doing chapters 6, 7, and 8. Okay. I love y'all. Good night.